Guys, I wanted to share a little bit about baby Mercy and introduce her to all of you. She is now 7 months old, and as you can tell, she has glasses now. This is kind of a new thing, so she's actually still getting used to them. She does keep them on her face pretty well, but she's getting used to her world not blurry. And it's been quite an adjustment, to be sure. So Mercy was born with something called Pierre Robin Sequence, and that meant that her jaw was pushed back. She had micrognathia, is what that's called, and she had a cleft palate in the back of her mouth. The palate was about the shape of her tongue, actually, and so her tongue would fall back into her throat, and she was not able to get an airway to breathe when she was born. So she was whisked off to NICU, and they intubated her, but the hospital we were at could not do anything more for her there, and she was a fighter. She was a big baby. She was full term, and she was, yeah, you were. She was a fighter. So we actually ended up flying her. They flew her to a bigger children's hospital. And there, at 5 days old, she had what's called a jaw distraction. And that meant that they literally broke her jaw and stuck pins into it. And then behind her ear were these distractors, and they were turned with a screwdriver until her jaw was pushed out far enough that her tongue was not in the way anymore. And then she had to learn how to eat without a feeding tube in order to go home. And so that took about 6 weeks total before we were able to bring her home. Now, I always had sort of a sneaking suspicion that something else was going on as well. I could tell in her eyes that she didn't seem to be focusing on me as well as my other kids did. And of course, people tell you, oh, well, siblings are all so different, and kids all look so different, and they all behave so different. Well, I know that. I have 10 kids. Of course, I know that kids all behave differently, but as a mom with that many kids, I could tell that there was something more to it. You're being funny. So I kept kind of looking at it. The other thing I noticed was that, and this could have just been the Pierre Robin, but I noticed that her jaw structure seemed a little different to me. I'd go to kiss her on the cheek, and there was more here than I was used to. And I just was noticing little things. And most people were kind of saying, oh, I just don't see it. And even the geneticist was not convinced there was anything else going on. But there is a condition called Stickler Syndrome that a lot of PRS babies have. And sure enough, when the results finally came back, and it was about 3 months, I think, 3 to 4 months from the time she had the genetics submitted until we actually got the results, it did come back that she had type 1 sticklers. Stickler syndrome affects the collagen in your body, and so that's the reason she has eyeglasses. Her retinas do have a risk of detaching. She actually was recently in surgery to, they put her under to look at her retinas, and then they were going to do laser surgery if she needed it, but she ended up not needing it. Her ears, she has very, very mild hearing loss, and then she is highly myopic, which is something, she's very, very nearsighted. Her prescription is actually negative 14.5. She, do you see yourself? She is wearing Miraflex glasses. Now, I have been told that stickler babies don't have a lot of bridge to their nose. And that they do better with a different kind of glasses, but we have done the, I don't know if you can see them, the little ear flap things, and then she has the band across the back. And I will link to, there's a video here on YouTube about squeezing the glasses to make sure that they stay pushed in where they stay up against her face really well. So she's doing pretty good with them. The only time that she gets them off is when she doesn't have a toy to play with, and she'll end up grabbing her glasses. She is very drooly. That is kind of a common PRS thing, is to be extremely drooly. So we use these little bibs. This is from Zuzik, and it has a fleece backing, and they're the little bandana bibs, and I change these out a lot. And I typically change her clothes 2 or 3 times a day as well. She is at that age. I think she's teething finally. My kids all teeth really late. So she's 7 months. She doesn't have any teeth yet. But she is chewing on everything, right? You're chewing on everything. Yes. Oh, you're going to get mad? Can you say hi? So yeah, I'm hoping to do some more videos to kind of explain a little bit about Mercy's condition and where we're at with things. It's not a cognitive delay. There's not usually any cognitive delays or neurological issues. Sometimes there can be some heart issues. She does not have those currently. She's had 2 EKGs. They've come back perfectly fine. Usually they also end up with some pain as they get older, arthritis and arthritic type pain as they get older. And so aquatic therapy and some pain management coping skills are some things that she will eventually need. She really has been a joy for our family, though. She's my first baby in glasses, so that's been an adventure, hasn't it? Yes. Yes, it has. She will have her cleft palate repair when she turns 1 or thereabouts. So we'll keep you updated on that. And until then, we'll say goodbye, right? Can you say bye-bye? No, we're too busy looking around. Bye.